Y'all doing? Grace, peace, and blessings to you. Basham Yaakov Elohim, in the name of the living God, the Lord of spirits, the King of kings, the almighty power, Jesus Christ, Jesus the Christ. Today I want to go over with you guys. I promised you that I would do a part two of the video on how to purify water. I've done some modifications to the apparatus that I was using for that, but I want to particularly talk to you about how to make an N95 mask, or a mask that meets would meet the standard of an N95 or even greater, and that's what we're going to go over today. First thing, let's look at a lot of camps are not going to be holding the Passover convocation on the 14th day of the first month this year because the laws of the land have forbid those type of gatherings, and because of the fact that they don't see that it is a value, it is edification, of the church for you to go against that law at this point. But what we do know though is that that doesn't mean that we don't keep the Passover, and in fact the law has a clause in it, which is and this is the Lord's law. This is the law above the law. That has a clause in it already that allows for us to be able to keep the Passover 30 days or in the second month on the 14th day. So let's go to Numbers chapter 9 and verse 10. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off." So if for any reason, remember we talked again about cleanliness. So anybody who has been is considered to be unclean by reason of a dead body, meaning that they went to a funeral or whatever the case may be, or there's just a lot of they might be at war or any of these different things that will fall in the category of being unclean or on a journey. He shall keep the Passover unto the Lord. So you should keep the Passover, meaning that on the 14th day of the first month at even is still a Sabbath. You still keep that Passover, and you still refrain from leavened bread, from leaven, not just leavened bread, but from leaven. And you do it on the 14th day. Verse 11, the 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. So the actual convocation, the feast, you can wait for 30 days. So that's why a lot of camps are probably gonna hold their feast on the 30th day, 30 days from now, or on the 14th of the second month. Verse 12, they shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. So remember, the Passover lamb it has to be a male, unblemished, with no broken bones. Verse 13, but the man that is clean and is not in a journey or forbade to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of the Lord in his appointed season. That man shall bear his sin. So one of the ordinances was that everyone had to come to Jerusalem with an offering. That was basically when you had the, everybody was held a feast and everything. Basically everybody feasted today. And what they would do is everybody would travel to Jerusalem because they would be giving an offering to the Most High, and then they would be attending a feast and having a celebration. But yet, because if you had obviously, again, if you had some type of extreme circumstances for which you were not able to make it to Jerusalem, then the feast would be held. All right, y'all. So let's get into the making of this N95 mask. All right. There's a couple of things that you're going to need in order to make this mask. One of the things you're going to need is you're going to need a Ziploc bag. I got these for like $6.99 for the Ziploc bags, right? If you're in a hospital, you probably already have access to like this really breathable, garment or whatnot that you put over different types of wounds and stuff like that. So, you just kind of like for this one here, you could fit your arm in there and it'll cover. It's like a bandage, but it's very breathable. This particular type of bandage, right? You need, I think I went over activated charcoal. You need some type of a tape. You need, I'm using both, electric tape and I'm also using duct tape. Then you also need some sensitive skin tape, which you could probably find within the hospital somewhere. Then you need a stapler. Right, I went out and got this stapler. It was purple. Don't judge. And then you need some scissors, and then you need 2 tea bags, at least 2 tea bags. You can make as many filters as you feel like is comfortable for you. But typically you're gonna need at least to make at least 3 or 4 filters. So you need two tea bags will basically make 4 filters for you. So you need at least 2 tea bags, and that's it. Those are the materials that we're gonna start off with. You squirt this stuff in your nose towards your face. You're gonna start like it's gonna bother. You're gonna actually irritate. It's gonna irritate your airways. Like that. Like this stuff is extra strong, but I'll put it right next to my face with this. I'm taking in deep breaths and I'm not getting none of that. I gotta put it like almost into the filter to even get a hint of it. You know what I'm saying? All right, this is a really important, next 2 weeks for healthcare workers, for people in general in the population, because this is when basically this is the last this is like the final, this is the big battle these next couple of weeks. So if somebody could go out, I think the cost of most of this stuff altogether was definitely less than $50 if you're not in the hospital already. But this was the most expensive thing, was the activated charcoal or activated carbon, which you can find this here. You can find this particular brand at PetSmart in the water filtration section. And if anybody that I know needs some of this, I can give you some of that too as well. I got plenty of it. I'm not going to use all of that. So careful not to cut any holes in the Ziploc bag. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going to cut off a piece of this fabric here, this bandage, and I'm going to separate that and to make at least, I want to make at least 4 coverings out of that to cover up the holes. And the reason why I want to put these on there is because I don't want moisture getting to the tea bag and getting to the activated charcoal. I want to keep those dry as possible. So we put this over the top of the filter, And what that does is just make sure that there's any moisture that gets in there. We don't want it to get any moisture. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this. Make sure you also sterilize. What I like to use to sterilize with is this right here. This is 99, probably about 98% isopropyl alcohol. That right there is that'll kill anything. You really want to make sure that it's 99%. I recommend this brand instead. This is used for electronics and things of that nature. But this is, as you can see, this is 90. They have this on the bottle, 99%. This one's about 98%. You can find in the in Walgreens and whatnot, you can find things that go up to that'll go all the way up to. You shouldn't put this on your hands. Obviously, this is not for that. Like, this is actually kind of like literally like taking off like a microscopic layer of skin, But I put that, just because I touched that bottle, and then basically, so yeah. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to get you some of that, or at least go to Walgreens and get that 95% isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, which is a really strong rubbing alcohol that they have. Typically, you can find that at a Walgreens. So for this one, we're going to make just 3 filters. So I'm going to cut off some of the excess here. And there you go. You have the filter covers that are going to keep it from getting wet on that side. You can do it for both sides, so maybe I'm gonna do it for both sides this time, because I want to make this as nice as possible. This mask here, the one I made was a little janky, but all right. The thing about this about influenzas and about any kind of viruses, they all start with the spiritual first, and then they manifest themselves in the physical. But the more you get exposed to it, like you may have been exposed to the flu this season, but it didn't stick because you had a pretty good immune system, and whatever you were blessed. The Lord showed you mercy. One of the things that can happen, though, is that if you just continuously being in the same place getting, exposure, then the chances are that one of those, enough of those virons are going to duplicate and take hold at some point. So, the key is to expose not yourself any more than you have to any of this stuff. You're getting exposed to stuff all day long. It's just a part of life. You're always getting exposed to some type of pathogen or some type of disease. Your body is fighting 24/7 all day long against those exposures that you're having. And it's inevitable that you. So now what we want to do is we're going to take our tea bag and we want to cut off the top of it. And what we want to do when we do that is the tea bag will fold into 2 pieces like this. It'll fold down. And then we want to take out the tea. All right, so there we go. So we have this is what we're left with here, right? Now what we're going to do with that is we're going to seal off. We want to seal off the bottoms of it. You just cut it right down the middle, and we can figure out how big we want to make these filters. Again, like, the filters don't have to be too big. What they're going to do is they're going to sit at different parts on the surface of the mask. And what that's going to do is that's going to basically going to put a hole in the mask in the plastic, and we're going to fit this filter right over the top of that hole. Now, this design was borrowed from Garrett Morgan's.
Garrett Morgan, the son of freed slaves, was a man of many inventions. Where some may have seen problems, Morgan saw solutions. That was the case when he saw firefighters choking on smoke. It inspired him to create a protective mask. The result was a so-called safety hood. Morgan filed for a patent in 1912, and it was granted on October 13th, 1914. 2 years later, Morgan's invention got national attention when he used it himself to help rescue workers trapped inside a collapsed tunnel. Not long after, the canvas hood with 2 tubes was drawing inquiries not only from fire departments across the country, but also the United States military. During the First World War, chemical weapons terrorized the Western Front. Clouds of mustard gas, phosgene, and chlorine creeped among the trenches, deforming and killing along the way. So when the U.S. got involved in the war, they turned to Morgan's safety hood. It was modified slightly. Morgan's invention was more inclined to protect against smoke inhalation, as opposed to gas. But its basic principles were instrumental in guiding the creation of the Army-issue gas mask. The gas mask would command some of World War I's most striking and memorable images. Apocalyptic in appearance, signaling to the rest of the world the horrors of the first modern war. Gas attacks accounted for thousands of deaths on the Western Front. But were it not for the gas mask, it would have been thousands more.
Practically every country in Europe today is exploring means of combating the terrible effects of gas attacks. Here we see Signor Mussolini and his cabinet ministers watching with keen interest demonstrations of chemical warfare in their realm.
Chemical weapons attacks did not end with World War I. They'd be featured prominently in the many wars and conflicts to follow, making Garrett Morgan's breakthrough all the more significant.
Regardless of what you think about that, you know, him doing that for free, that's what happened. And, you know, the city and the government and everything was very happy to take that, to take his designs and turn around and patent them. But I'm going to fill this up pretty good. All right. Now this is a thick filter. I didn't make one this thick before, but this is real thick. This may be, this may be like real thick for some people. It definitely don't have to be that thick, but I'm gonna make them thick for this particular one right here that we making. All right. So in order to make the mask, right? All right. So in order to make the mask, you wanna basically you wanna fit the mask to the person that's gonna be wearing it. All right. Not everybody is gonna have not everybody's face is as big or whatnot, and they need a smaller hole or opening, like what day it was or how old this was. So I wouldn't use this thing past like a day or two at the most, and even that may be even too much. So this one is gonna be 4, 6, 20. All right, so now we're gonna go over fitting it. Now, when you're fitting the mask onto your face, right, what you want to do is open it up, get a little bit of air in there, right? Take it like this right here, right? Go ahead and start sealing it on both ends. Put it to your face. And find a tight fit. Find a tight fit to your face size. Then seal it off to where you had to pinch it. Seal it off to that point. So then now you have your opening, right? And once you do that, you want to add like a rough, you do about a 45-degree angle. You want to make sure you know where you seal it at, maybe like fold it a little bit so that you have a mark to aim for when you're cutting. But you're going to cut the corners off. See that? So I kind of roughly know where to aim at. And then what I do is I just come in here. Looks like that right there. Right? Now what you can start doing is I'm going to use some duct tape You're just basically sealing off the holes now, right? So now we just fold that down and we have that side is now sealed. No air is going to be getting through that. You can cut off a little bit of the excess, right? Repeat the same thing for this side. To get to this here. Now what I did was I folded this a little bit inside out on one side and opened it up to where open it up like that. And then take some electric tape and then just seal it from the inside too, so that, just to be extra sure that they don't come apart. Even though it's duct tape on there, duct tape is hardly going to be, once it's on this plastic, it is not going to want to move at all. So make sure you don't make any mistakes with your duct taping, because so you want to put duct tape on the inside here, starting from the corner. And just go over like that. Real neat. Try to have it lined up right. Not making any kinks. Like that, and then just fold it over. It takes, oh wait, I got another piece right here. There you go. So now the inside of it, you're not going to be, your face won't be touching this plastic part, which is kind of like uncomfortable for you, Then what you can do is you can do it again, but this time focusing more so on the outside part. The more tape that you add here, the more duct tape and electrical tape you add before you put on that sensitive skin tape, the better, because it's going to make a softer fit to your face. It's going to fit to your face more comfortably. So again, we leaving some excess here, and then we just neatly going around and covering up the Ziploc area plastic like that, and then we just fold this part over back into the inside like that, and then we repeat for the other side. Fold it over. Okay, it's not really neat, but it's cool. I'll just trim off a little bit of that. That's neat. That's neat right there. All right. Then what I want to do is probably take another little piece of electric tape here. And I want to get those corners one more time. I want to seal those corners up one more time so it's like comfortable in the corner. And there's a lot of tape on the corner, so when I put my staples in there, it'll be holding on to something firm. So tape that little corner right there. Again, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now you have that part done, right? So we can try it, put it up against our face again and see. That's real tight. It's a tight fit. That's a real tight fit. Might want to be a little bit looser than that, but that's all good. All right, now we want to put in our filters. This is the whole point of the exercise here, is the filters. So what we want to do for that is we need to make holes. I made a hole around here about 2/3 of the way down for the middle of it, and then another one here and about 50% down, and then I put one on the other side about 2/3 of the way down on this end right here, and then probably you can put a fourth one if you want to right below that, or you can put them on this side and then on that side and on this side and then that side. I mean, however you want to do it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it the way I did it before. So I'll poke a hole. Well, I wanna make a square, right? So let me like take the permanent marker first and make these outlines for this square. So as you can see, those are kind of where you want to carve out holes in this thing. It's right along those filters. And again, you can put the filters like, you know, on the sides if you want to. If you find like it's hard to breathe with this way, put the filters on the sides. Or if you want, add even more filters. But whatever you do, if you maintain the integrity of the filter and the fact that you make the air have to go through that charcoal, then you can put as many filters as you want to, as long as it's being filtered through that activated charcoal. So let's cut a hole in. Being very careful. Shit. Cut that whole roll further over than I wanted to. Careful not to overcut like I just did. Maybe scissors up. All right, once you have a hole like that, what you can do is just kind of reinforce the sides of it with some duct tape. So the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to maintain the integrity of this little piece here. I don't want it like, you know, ripping a little bit and now it's air bleeding out somewhere. None of that. Like, just put something on there so it maintains that integrity. So there it is on one side. Now I'm gonna come in and do it on the opposite side. Put that tape in there also on the opposite side of it. See that? Rinse and just basically repeat the process over and over again for each hole. Now we got landing points for our filters, so we can start working on them now. All right. So what I want to do is, we don't want the filter getting moist. We don't want it to get moist. So we want to have on each side, from moisture that may be coming in from the outside and from moisture that may be coming in from the inside, we can attach these here. But when you do that, you gotta understand, you're gonna be kind of restricting airflow to a certain degree. But you know, if you have enough filters, then you can get as much airflow, you can get as much exhalation of the of the carbon monoxide out, and then you can get the inhalation of the air, filtered air through. Like that. You take this and you want to carefully place this here on the inside. Covering that up, like so. Go ahead and rinse and repeat this method. So this is what you're going to have on the inside of there. You're going to have cloth. This little test I like to do is read through with that cloth. You can see it's minimum restriction to the airflow, so that's good. All right, so now what you want to do is add the filters. Now we're going to be adding in the filters, right? This part we're going to add the filters in. So for that, we're going to take duct tape. So there we go. We got one filter on there now. So we got one filter attached. So let's try the breathing out for see how much. Still taking deep breaths is not doing too much harm. All right. Now, like piecemeal, put your filters on there. Don't put every filter on there at once because you might be restricted. Like the filters might be restricting too much of the airflow, and you don't want that. You want to have airflow. You know, a comfortable amount of airflow. I'm gonna go ahead and add a third filter this time here with the hopes that it's not too much. I think 3 filters should be good to go. But we have a 4th, so we might just add that 4th as well. Just want to make sure that the airflow is not too much restricted. right, there we go. We got 4 filters on. 4 filters on. All right, let's try it out. Okay, you see how I just took a deep breath and it falls on itself? Hold my breath. So you see that? That's what we want. We want the weight of the filters to basically push air out through the filter only though. We don't want any air coming in that's not going through activated carbon. And we also don't want on the insides of it, we don't want the moisture from our breath to start to degrade the quality of the filters. All right, so now the next step is to attach what's going to be holding on to our face, which I'm gonna cut the video. We're gonna get back to that part in a second. All right, here's the next part. We're gonna be attaching the because we don't want you to have this on your face, just this here. So what we can do is we can attach sensitive skin tape here to these areas here, like that. Attach that sensitive skin tape right there, you see? And then double it up on each side. So it forms like a nice little paper feeling type feel to your face, so you don't get, rashes and things like that, Go around the whole thing with it. And believe it or not, I think this thing may be more comfortable than some of the masks that healthcare workers and stuff are wearing as we speak. I like looked at the design. I kind of designed it to be friendly for folks who have to wear it for a long time. But to have the best filtration possible, So we get that around there. Double it up. If you can, this is like that critical moment where we all need to be extra vigilant and not, and just be extra vigilant and whatnot. But especially the healthcare workers, because they're going to be getting the bulk of what the last 2 weeks have just done in terms of spreading. So we want to make sure that they're protected as much as possible. And then again, you can hit the corners with it again. Another thing that adding this tape is going to do is it's going to help the air seal a bit here because it fans out onto the face, so it's kind of conforming to the face of the person that's wearing it. Another thing I want to do is I want to reinforce that with some electrical tape just across on the bottom part. Just reinforce it. So I know that sensitive tape is gonna hold there, nice and it's gonna hold decent. Okay. All right. All right. So now once we have that, the next step is just to take the shoestrings to measure out like how far how much shoestring you need, and then we want to staple them to the to like an inch off of the corners here. Works just fine. All right, now let's put it on. It's a little tight. Let's see how this works. Loosen up the shoestring a little bit. Still a little tight. so it came loose a little bit. I want to take it. So I know this is I might have could have been a little bit more generous on the shoestrings, the length of the string. Okay. And you gotta adjust that. You get the point though. Once you adjust it, like this side, cool, but the other side not really fitting in. I want it to fit. See. I'm not gonna tie it. I'm tying it too. This side is kind of giving me a little bit of an issue here. See? Once you get that shoestring situation tight, you in business, man. Like, you know, however you want to do this, you can, as long as you can get this thing attached to your face with the shoestrings, you're good to go. Like I'm breathing. I can't smell nothing. I gotta take a real deep breath. It just sucks all the air through them filters. Blow it up. Breathing real comfortably, and like again, I can't smell anything. I can't. All I can smell is what this, you know, not that my house smells real bad, but basically, you know, we can do a test on this where, you know, I mean, we can put some cayenne pepper or something like that in the pot and burn it, see if I start coughing or whatnot. But I'm pretty sure that this is filtering. It's like a mini gas mask, is what it feels like. It's got that plastic. All it smells is just plastic. You know what I'm saying? I don't smell no nothing from that. Let me see here. Nope, I can't hardly smell it. Like as I did it, like real. I'm right on the. Normally, if you squirt this stuff in your nose towards your face, you're gonna start like it's gonna bother. You're gonna actually irritate. It's gonna irritate your airways. Like that. Like this stuff is extra strong, but I'll put it right next to my face with this. I'm taking in deep breaths and I'm not getting none of that. I gotta put it like almost into the filter to even get a hint of it. You know what I'm saying? So that means that this activated charcoal is off the chain, man. This stuff filters all types of stuff out, man. So I did a video of the part one. I went over how to make activated charcoal. Just in case you guys are not able to buy this stuff, this is almost about 20. It's like $15, you know, for this container here. But if you guys can get some money together, man, and get one of these containers right here, man, and some tea bags, you know, you can make your own mask. So that's solid, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a solid filtration device right here, man. This was invented by Garrett Morgan. Shout out to Garrett Morgan. He's the original inventor of the gas mask, and basically this is like following his same design. Thank you.